If you know me, know this ain't my feng shui. Certified everywhere, ain't got a print the resume.
What's going on, guys? It's Kevin Taylor here, and I am here to break down this matchup today. It is game day. The Eagles are on the road traveling down to the Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to give you the keys to the game and what the Eagles need to do to take care of business down in Carolina, and to come home with a W. Before we jump into anything, if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you're a newcomer. You can also check us out on Instagram. We do a ton of posting, like, daily, by the minute, we are always posting on there. That's the best way to interact with us. You can also follow us on Twitter. But anyway, let's get down to this matchup. So before we dive straight into the matchup and the keys to the game, we need to kind of, what do we know about the Eagles right now? Well, we know that the Eagles went 3 for 4 on their first 4 games, and 3 of those first 4 games were on the road. This Eagles team is in sole possession of the NFC East right now, not tied. They are out in front. We also know that the rest of the NFC East is kind of imploding to some degrees, minus the Washington Redskins. The Cowboys have lost 2 straight now, 2 tough games. The New York Giants are just a complete dumpster fire at the moment, and had a lot of injuries there too, so you never want to see that. So prayers out to those guys. And that's the division right now. The Washington Redskins look to be for real. They're coming off of a loss and then a bye. So we're setting up for a big game this week and then a big matchup with the Washington Redskins. But first, before any of that, we have to take care of business in Carolina to get back to Philadelphia to take care of business on Monday Night Football. Now, when I look at this Carolina team, it honestly strikes me, it resembles the Philadelphia Eagle team in many facets, and mainly on that defense. They have a very nasty front 7 who can really get after it. We have an extremely nasty front 7, especially if Fletcher Cox is going to be playing today. You look at that team and you kind of see, the weaknesses in the secondary. When you look at the game they lost to the Saints, and the Saints put up numbers on them. And so looking at that, their weakness is in the secondary, like I just said, the cornerbacks, safeties. And so that's a weakness there that we need to exploit. Looking at their offense, Cam Newton, dual-threat quarterback who can get it done in the pocket. And he's obviously, it took him a little while to get back. He's coming back off that shoulder surgery. But he looks like the Cam Newton of old, Cam Newton of 2 years ago, which is kind of surprising because, 3 weeks ago, there was reports coming out that Cam's teammates were worried that his body was, breaking down at this point. But Cam is dangerous. That offense is dangerous. Christian McCaffrey is over there, scored for the first time last week. You see how they use him over there in that offense. He's not a bell cow. He's a situational matchup kind of running back, and I see him as a matchup, not nightmare, but someone who has a favorable matchup against us. They're going to try to pin him on our linebackers and see, hey, are you fast enough to stay with Christian McCaffrey? Can you handle that? I wouldn't be surprised if I saw, safeties keying down on him as well if he moves into the slot. That's what kind of player he is. When you look at the Panthers, wide receivers, you got the 2 twin towers over there, Funchess and Benjamin. 2 big targets that Cam Newton knows how to get the ball to. He's on eye level with them, and so it's kind of for him, it's like throwing straight. And it's an advantage for them. But when I look on this Eagles offense too, we have a very, very dynamic offense if you haven't heard already or seen. You got Alshon Jeffrey, which is, he runs those big slant routes, the curls, the double moves on a straight line. Toss it up to him, he'll come down with it. Big body receiver, very similar to Kelvin Benjamin, and he gets it done. Then you've got Torrey Smith, who's kind of come back in the last week, had a little bit of resurgence, revival, baby. And he had a big play there. Definitely going to need him to step up again this week. To that same notion, Nelson Aguilar, who has also been revived. He's just been balling out. I'm completely in love with the way Nelson Aguilar is going about this season, the way he's balling out right now. I'm on the cusp of buying a Nelson Aguilar jersey. I got to be honest with you. But to that matter, we have a very dynamic wide receiver group, and then obviously there's Zach Ertz, Trey Burton, and Brent Selleck getting it done in the tight end game. So what do the Eagles need to do to beat the Carolina Panthers? Well, that's what we're all here for, right? So here's my thought, right? Well, we have to first establish the running game. We have to be able to get them to make the decision, okay, are we going to – they know what Carson Wentz can do, right? Carson Wentz is playing at an unbelievable level right now. Our wide receivers are clicking. So the passing game has been there. It's been there all season. There's been no hiccups there. The running game has sputtered from time to time and has been, at a very good level. We need to try to establish that early. So a nice balance in the beginning of this game would be excellent. To get them to make the decision, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to try to stop LeGarrette Blount? Which it just seems like nobody wants to tackle him. I mean, you saw even the Honey Badger. Look at, LeGarrette Blount's long runs. People were trailing him, pretty much trying to force him, block him off out of bounds. Nobody wants to tackle this guy. We need to force the Carolina Panthers to make decisions. Are we going to tackle LeGarrette Blount? Are we going to load the box up? Are we going to stop this run attack? You do that, you then open up the passing lanes. You open up the play-action pass. And really, that's what's going to drive this game home and create separation. Big trunk plays by Carson Wentz, and he very well can do it. But we need to right now force those linebackers, force those safeties to creep down into that box. And to do that, really, the offensive line has to step up. The offensive line has to give Carson Wentz time. The offensive line has to open running lanes against a very nasty front seven. That's going to be a very tough job, but I have faith in this offensive line. I am encouraged by this offensive line. I believe in this offensive line. Even with Lane Johnson being out, I think Big V is going to get the job done. I think, Jason Peters is going to be in there. He's going to lead that group. Carson Wentz will have time. He's not going to be running for his life, hopefully, like he was in the first 2 weeks. And I see the ability there. So let's say that's what they have to strive for. And that really is the question mark. Because if he's given time, that secondary, they're not sticking with Carson Wentz. They're not sticking with this wide receiver group. Drew Brees put up numbers on them. We have better wide receivers than the Saints. We will be able to put up numbers on the secondary. Believe it. Now, when you look at Zach Ertz, I see Zach Ertz. This is a very tough matchup for him. Luke Kuechly in there is no joke. And if he's matched up on Zach, that's a very tough matchup for Zach. But he's still, he's taken such a huge step. And I wouldn't doubt that Carson Wentz would still target him in this game. But really, I put the responsibility on the offense on first us establishing the running game and also our wide receivers. Alshon Jeffrey has to have a big game. Nelson Aguilar has to be dynamic. And also, to that matter, we have to keep converting on third down. The Eagles' numbers on third down are number one in the league. And so that is very big for this team because when we convert on third down, it first of all breaks the backs of those defenses because they thought they were getting off the field, and now they have to play again and again. They have to get a stop again. And so that, for a psyche of a team, and I do believe we are going to do that. I believe we're going to show up down there, convert on third downs, and move the ball. I really, to be honest, I think we will make work of this defense. I really do. I'm that confident. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think the Eagles' offense will be able to tame this defense. I think we're going to be able to put up points on them. Now, on to the other side. I think the challenge really does lay here for our defense. Cam Newton is playing at a very high level, rekindling his performances from 2 years ago when we saw Cam take his team on a Super Bowl run. And so that is very scary to have to deal with. It's like, how do you stop this guy? But again, I think if Fletcher Cox is back, that's a huge, huge boost for this defense. And if Timmy Jernigan continues to play the way Timmy Jernigan can play, let me tell you something. That man is a man who's trying to get paid. He's going to create an issue for this front office if he continues to play the way he's playing. Timmy Jernigan is present, and he's getting the job done. So I think this front seven can definitely overpower this offensive line. And then really, it's up to our secondary to kind of clean up the way they have been cleaning up. Now, from what I understand, Ronald Darby is not returning during this game. So our cornerbacks are going to look the way they did, last week, the week before, when Darby went down. Sidney Jones is obviously not coming back this week. So it's up to the Eagles to be able to clean up in the front. Hurricane Schwartz on them boys. You know what I'm saying? Get that defense, get that midnight green, get that gang green defense out there swarming. Fly to the football. We obviously have to contain the running backs. They've been moving Christian McCaffrey, running a lot of the, in routes, slants, quick hooks, things like that. Quick intermediate routes to get him the ball in space, using him as a, more of a possession slot receiver in that sense. So that is a very, very difficult task. Like I said, I would not be surprised to see a safety drop down on him, or even, or Hicks. But those are the two guys, Jenkins, Hicks. Those are the two guys I trust on Christian McCaffrey, and even for them, it's going to be a challenge. But you have to keep Cam contained too. He's not running as much this season. But look, it's going to start with the front seven in this defense. And hey, if our special teams can put us in big field position, that all adds up. Right now, it's not going to be an easy game, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be a cakewalk. This is not going to be, like the Cardinals game. And if it is, okay, this team is, I already think this team is for real. But if they play the way they played in Carolina and have that same kind of result, against Arizona, and have that same kind of result, well, hey, you have something extremely exciting happening here in Philly. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be that way. I honestly think that this game will be the matchup of the week. I see two teams that are, obviously 4-1 and that are building. And obviously, if we do lose this game, it's not the end of the world, because there is still building that has to take place, growth that has to take place during the season. We've got guys coming back. I am still encouraged about this team, no matter what. And to be honest, I think we're going to win this game. I think the Philadelphia Eagles get the job done on the road in Carolina on Thursday Night Football. Now, before I give you my prediction, I just want to let you guys know that unfortunately I am going to be traveling for my normal job, my 9-to-5 job. I have to travel for business, so I will be away all weekend. So odds are, unless I do on the road segment of this of this Birds Fly Talk Top 5, and if you want to see that, jump in my comments. Then I'll have to do something like offbeat, like what I did when I went on vacation this summer, to get you guys my thoughts. But if not, it will definitely not be in studio, because I will not be in, I won't be here in the studio. And so if you guys want to see that, if you still want my top 5, please let me know after the game. I'll be more than happy to put something together in my hotel room. But, if not, then, you guys won't probably hear from me until Monday, Tuesday next week on the matchup. So I'm leaning towards doing it, but definitely if you guys let me know you want to see it, it definitely encourages me more. So moving on to my score prediction for this game, I think the Eagles come away with a win here. I am seeing a 31-21 win for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm seeing an offensive strike fest here, a shootout here per se. I think Carson Wentz comes up big here. I think Carson Wentz throws the ball for more than 325 yards in this game. I give the man 3 touchdowns on the day again. LeGarrette Blount has a great game. He runs out the clock at the end of the game. 31-21, the Philadelphia Eagles take care of business on Thursday Night Football. It's such a shame that this game is on Thursday, because I really do think it's going to be the best game of the week. A great matchup here. Guys, you saw my prediction for this game. I didn't really give you any bold predictions there. You kind of saw mine. Give me your predictions for the game. So I want to score, and you can give me something you think that's going to happen in this game. If you are right, so if someone hits on a prediction, whether it be a score prediction that's right, or whether it be, LeGarrette Blount rushes for X amount of yards with, X amount of touchdowns, something like that, I will feature your prediction on next week's show, shout you out, and I'll allow you to give another prediction on that show, all right? So that's how that's working there. So please jump in our comments. Again, this is Kevin Taylor. I'm giving you what the Eagles need to do to beat the Carolina Panthers tomorrow. I mean, excuse me, not tomorrow. We're filming it today. But look, again, this is Birds Fly Talk. You know, the Flyers talk for the Flyers fans. And listen, guys, once again, like, share, and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. And thanks again for connecting, for supporting, and for being so engaged and supporting this Eagles team. This is Kevin Taylor, Birds Fly Talk, man. I am so pumped for this game. It's game day, baby. Let's get hyped. Birds Fly Talk. We out of here. Peace.
Hit it with a left, hit it with a right. I'ma knock the beat out like fight.